Hey there, electrical engineers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers. Episode 2, Upgrading Power Generation. So there's one major tool that I have yet to make, or printer rather, which is the tool printer, which makes tools, spare tools and improved tools and the like. And that can wait for a little bit. There's not really an urgency for that printer over the other ones. The other ones are very much required for your immediate survival. All right, batteries looking a little low. So the next thing I wanted to print up was the console. Hit console. After that, I'm going to want a sensor. And the sensor, so the console is going to be installed. I'll install it there, actually. The console is going to be installed in order to, like, have a place to cycle airlocks. You can also cycle your airlocks from the door handles too. So there's two ways to do it, but I like putting the console in here. Oh, I disrupted the power, so you have to redo that. And let's turn off gas power. How's my gas pressure? I've used 1.5 megapascals out of the 5 or so that I started with, so we're going through it. The next one is the sensor. And the sensor is to detect the pressure within the airlock, so that the airlock knows when it's pressurized or not. So there's daylight sensors, motion sensors, and gas sensors. I want a gas sensor. All right. Next is the airlock console. Now there's two of them. There's the advanced one and the normal one. The normal one is what you would use if you have vacuum and atmosphere. It separates vacuum and atmosphere. The advanced one is if you separate two atmospheres. So if I'm coming in from vacuum, which is outside, I only need the normal one. But if my base then had a greenhouse, which had a heightened level of, let's say, carbon dioxide, I would want an advanced one. So I can keep higher levels of carbon dioxide from my plants and lower levels where I breathe and live. So those are the two different airlocks that you would have. Stick that in there. The next thing I'm going to need is glass for the console front. So another glass sheet. Just one. I'm going to need what is called a data disk. The data disk allows you to do like, oops, let's close that handle. The data disk allows you to do like setups. It's like a floppy disk for setups and coding. And our battery is 30%. So let's get this back on. And what do I have to smelt? The remainder of the iron? That's going to smelt pretty quickly. So soon that arc furnace is just going to be turned off. So there's the data disk. And there's a data disk slot there for the setup. All right. From this point, I need cables for the airlock itself, because I didn't print up enough. So I need some additional cables to actually wire it up for both power and data. Because I'm automating the airlock, the data port is important. Without toggling the data port, you won't be able to like issue commands to it or anything like that. That might be good for now. And holding my wire cutters while I'm painting cables allows me to connect to previously painted cables. So if I didn't have my wire cutter in my hands like this, as you can see, I can't merge junctions, whereas with the wire cutters, I can. So that's a helpful tool. So now my doors here are powered. Good. All right, the next part of this setup is pipes. And I think that could be turned off. And I really only need, like, very few pipes. So connecting to this air duct, I'm going to want... that will do. After that, I'm going to look for utility. Pipe, utility gas, and what that is it's like a portable, a smaller tank. It will make more sense once I print one up. So as you can see, it's like an attached tank. Oh, power's low. And I might... I'll go for 2 tanks. So what I'm doing here is I'm installing inline storage for the gas, so that when I cycle this airlock, it can stick the gas that's in the airlock in here, so it's not lost to atmosphere, or to vacuum. It doesn't outgas. And that way, I can cycle the airlock, but keep the gases I've produced. And I'm just adding a lot of volume to it, so pipes don't burst, and there's no phase, or less of a likely for phase changing and the like. So there we go. Let's wire up the airlock. So, the other thing I might want first is a labeler, so that I can tell which door is which, because they have the same names. A labeler tool also allows you to write data to certain devices. And my air tank is low, so that's like a thing that I'll need to remedy very soon. So here's my labeler. So I'm going to label this... Oh, I don't have a battery in this thing. Oh, I've survived 2 days. So I printed up a new battery and I'm charging it now. So labeler. This is the exterior door. This is the interior door. And then this is the airlock active vent, airlock console, airlock gas sensor. So the way this works is anything connected to a data port will be read on that network. You can have multiple networks. In fact, most bases do have multiple networks, but labeling it allows me to know what it is. So if I have multiple doors or multiple airlocks or multiple gas sensors or multiple consoles, it's not all consoles are just called console, which is a nightmare to try to manage. All right, now with the labeler, I am gonna go get... Ooh. I'm actually going to do something a little weird here. So I'm going to wrench one of these inline tanks off, and I'm just going to put it as a gas tank storage here. And then the other one I'm just going to, like, attach to the ground. I don't need it. I'm going to go to my pipe binder unit and print up a canister. Because I'm almost out of breathable oxygen, and I kind of don't want to suffocate. There's an empty gas can. And then I'm also going to print up a nitrogen filter. And the reason for this is oxite is oxygen and nitrogen. So if I don't have a nitrogen filter to put in my suit with the air I'm about to generate, I die. Because what ends up happening is nitrogen slowly fills up my helmet because it's not being cycled out from my suit because of my nitrogen filter. And eventually my helmet will become 100% nitrogen and I asphyxiate. There is a small chance for the pollutants and CO2 used to melt ices to leak into my helmet, but they're so small volumes that I don't think it's going to harm me. All right, so actually I'm not fully setting up the airlock. What I'm doing is making backup air tank because I'm about to suffocate. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to close these doors, open up my money belt, and melt some oxide again. And then I'm venting this oxide into the vents. And then melting a little bit more. And now that I'm at about 80 kPa, I can do food and water. Or I'll do food first, then water. And there's an empty water bottle. Closing my helmet. And I am going to suck up the remainder of the air that is in this room into the vent here, which is sent inward. Turning it off once it's done. And opening up the doors. I'm glad I had enough power for that. This gas canister now has 5,129 kPa of mostly oxygen. Take a look at that. It is 89%, 89.9% oxygen, 10% nitrogen. Guess what? I don't have to suffocate. Take this, swap it in my air tank, and then take out one of the carbon dioxide filters and put in a nitrogen filter. And then on top of that, this waste tank that I have, I'm going to swap out for the old oxygen tank because the waste tank was nearly full. This waste tank is 3% oxygen, mostly carbon dioxide. It's 96.6% carbon dioxide. If you're wondering why oxygen is in it, it's when I get too cold or too hot that it will sort of push more air through my suit to help cool me or warm me, depending on what I need. And the hotter it is, the more it will flush. So if you're in extreme heat, for instance, your waste tank will mostly be like breathable air from your oxygen tank. Now I am not going to suffocate. Awesome. So back to making a working airlock is my priority. Whew. I'm glad that was, yeah, crisis averted. And now I can put back those, like, tanks. Alright, this has a whole bunch of air in it, and this old, waste tank, what was in here anyway? This was mostly carbon dioxide. I am just going to empty this tank out. So I'm going to, if I look at the nozzle, I can open it, and it will just outgas everything that's in the tank until the tank is basically empty. Because it tries to equalize with the outside pressure, but the outside pressure is vacuum, so it equalizes with vacuum, which means it becomes vacuum. Yay to breathing, yeah, exactly. So now this is a totally empty tank that I can use for whatever the hell I want. Perfect. Alright, let's charge up the battery a little bit more, so I don't get locked in my own airlock, because that would be embarrassing. Battery is close to being full. So let's set up the airlock. So we turn on the console, and the first door to select is the exterior one, then the interior one, then the gas sensor, and the vent. The orders don't matter except for the exterior door first. Once we're done, we pull the data card, And it's trying to pressurize the airlock, outgassing the stuff that was in these tanks. So these tanks are less pressurized as a result. But basically the airlock works. It just doesn't have the concept that I don't have an enclosed base. So we have a working airlock. I just shouldn't use it until, you know, we have an enclosed base. The next goal of mine is to get a better power source. So upgrade to solid fuel. I want to upgrade to solid fuel because I don't have a lot of gas pressure left in this thing, and once it runs out, I'm out of power. I don't have a power source, and that would be very bad. So let's get solid fuel. So the solid fuel generator is, I think, an e-printer. Yep, solid generator. And it requires iron and copper more than I believe I have. So I'm going to need to go get it. Also, I see the cables that somehow wandered off. I don't worry about the silicon. Let's go get those cables. And then, because of the pressure coming out of the airlock, our copper and gold flew away. If you ever are wondering if, like, weird gases are building up in your suit, you can always flush your helmet. And that will help to replenish your oxygen supply from your tank. So we need a little bit of iron, no problem. And luckily I have some sunlight to work with. So solid generator burns coal. I know. It's weird to have coal in space that isn't Earth. I get it. But it burns coal in order to produce power. And it produces a lot of power. I don't want to be in solid fuel forever. I'm going to want to upgrade out of solid fuel at some point. But initially, solid fuel is a very strong choice if you're on a moon or planet that has power. So it's peaceful music in a dire situation? Yeah. Ah, crap. Where's my base? Oh, there it is. At least I have some lights on, because, you know... One of the advantages of the lander pod is the lander pod at least, like, stays illuminated, so maybe it can bail you out when you're lost. But yeah, that could be a problem. Oh, there goes my power. My power just got cut. And if you're wondering what gases are coming out of this portable gen... Oh, get over here. CO2, pollutant, volatiles, and a tiny bit of unburnt oxygen. It's not exactly like something that you need to capture early on. Like, it's waste gas for all intents and purposes, and it wouldn't make sense to even try to capture it at my current tech level. Because I ain't got time for that. I'm also getting dehydrated again. So let's grab another water bottle. And I can cycle my airlock for oxygen in a minute. There's the iron I want. And we're starting to print up that solid generator. Let's take a drink. Cycle to exterior. Actually, you know what? One weird way to do this. Yeah, let me do this a weird way. I have an idea. Like a stopgap idea. Alright. I need, for my weird idea, a little bit more iron. Like barely any at all. That's probably fine. I'll leave this smelting though. Ooh, sunrise. And I'm going to make an iron wall. And I'm going to stick the iron wall... Oh. I'm going to need a few iron walls. Okay, that's fine. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like, not lose gas when I cycle the airlock. So I don't have to keep mining up oxides to breathe. It's very stopgap, but it'll work. So solid generators 81% done. Let me switch out batteries, because I'm almost low power. Alright, to complete this, I need the iron sheets that I stuffed in my airlock on the other side, didn't I? So now that is an airtight 1 by 1 by 1. And when I want to take a drink, I can cycle the airlock into the nowhere. And it will pressurize the environment. Mostly. I don't know how much kPa, but 35? Yeah, that's survivable. It's thin, but like I can open up my helmet and drink. So let's do that. And this way, the oxygen that I've worked to gather isn't, like, lost to space every time I want to drink. And then I cycle the exterior and, you know, no gas is lost. And eventually, once I have a pressurized base, I don't need to worry about this. But, I ain't got no pressurized base yet. Tacos, thank you for the resub. Alright, solid generator is here. Perfect. And let's hook it up. So this portable generator is going to become obsolete rather soon. Oh, you know what? Before I even do that, I want a little bit more floor space outside. So I'm going to make 4 more frames out of iron. Stop printing, and then sheets out of iron, so I can weld them. So I need 3 more sheets at the very least. There we go. And this will just give me a little bit more room to work with. Where'd my other iron sheet go? I had one. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's literally in my backpack. Go me! Totally know what I'm doing here. So, platforms built in vacuum or outdoors are, like, cheap as hell. Because I'm not, like, paying to pressurize them or temperature control them or anything. So, like, anything that is outdoors is, like, think of it as free. Nearly. So I don't really care about the construction costs because it's so nominal. It's the interior which is expensive. Okay, there's my solid generator. And we'll put the solid generator right here. And this thing, you insert solid fuel. Comes out 20 kilowatts of power. Initially, we don't have the capacity to even store 20 kilowatts of power, so a lot of power will be lost until we have a means to store it, which I'll be working on soon. The next part of this is I don't even have the physical cables to hook this up yet. So let's go get some more cables printed up as well. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Our tiny battery is about to die. So power up the tiny battery as well. Don't worry about the double message. It's just the automod being automodding. It's doing what it's supposed to do. What do we need for a bigger battery? Steel. And steel is not something that your initial furnace can manage. So, as you may have put one-to-one together, steel making is going to be one of my next tasks. Maybe exactly the next task. After, you know, getting some coal to make sure the power doesn't go off. And I might want some lockers just for some organization, for sanity's sake. So that I can put down ores and other stuff here. So let's get some lockers, because if I don't, things are going to get lost, and that's a problem. So lockers. I'll again print up 2 lockers and make it a double locker, and also maybe stairs would be nice to have as well. And it's just iron, so it's cheap. All right, my ox tank looks good, my waste tank looks good, my propellant looks good, my filters look good, my life support battery looks okay. Today's gonna be a good day. I'ma survive today. And stairwells are for interiors, where you go up and like an interior stairwell. Stairs are like for porches and patios, to explain the difference. Come on, stairs. I'm staring. Ta-da! And this will just be like nice quality of life stuff. So, a double lock. So you have single lockers that don't hold very much, and these double lockers. The double lockers require 2 locker kits. So I have 2 locker kits makes 1 big locker. And then here, whoops, here will be my stairs. So now I don't have to jetpack my way up. Is that going to bother me? No, honestly, it won't. All right. Now that I have the cables hooked up to the APC, let's... As long as I have gas power in this thing, which I have 1.21 megapascals, which is like just over a fifth of, or maybe it's roughly a quarter of what I started with, let's go ahead and get a furnace. So the arc furnace is what I have now, which only allows a single element. This kind of furnace is for alloys. Steel being the alloy in question. Oh, and I just ran out of power. Yep. Battery dead. Next time it's sunup, I should start to think about collecting materials for steelmaking too. And that would be volatiles, oxides, coal, and iron. I have 1 stack of iron, but I'm going to want like 2 more stacks of iron, 1 stack of coal. And if you're ever wondering about the ratios, you can hit the Stationpedia here, and this has a lot of really useful information. So if you go to like ingots, and I want steel, steel in the game is a ratio of 3:1 iron to coal. And it can be made in furnaces, advanced furnaces, but not arc furnaces. And it requires a certain amount of pressure and heat. It's really not difficult to make once you're used to the game. Just waiting on the furnace. And then the furnace itself will need... Oh, so let's look that up too. The furnace is going to need materials to physically build. So the construction here is... I put it down a furnace, I wrench 2 sheets, and then I weld 2 sheets. So I'm going to need 4 iron sheets to go with it. So if you're ever wondering, extra materials for installation steps, your Stationpedia is the place to do. Ooh, 3 days! I have lived for 3 days. I have not died yet. That's pretty. Ooh, something is in transit. Look, there's like a satellite in transit of Saturn. I don't know what satellite that is, but that looks sweet. Alright, my suit battery is still charging up. Also, the APC, if you're flashing blue and green, it means its power's going up. And if it's red instead of blue, it power's going down. So it gives you a visual indicator of if you're generating power or losing power. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're going to want 4 sheets. Iron sheets. But I'm going to put this on hold because we have sunlight, and I should be using my sun wisely. So, I'm going to turn off everything. We have almost no pressure left in that thing. Put my furnace, my unbuilt furnace away, and let's go get iron and coal. And also volatiles as well, because I don't have any volatiles. So volatiles is like frozen, mostly hydrogen, and oxide is mostly frozen oxygen. And hydrogen and oxygen make boom. It also makes water and other things. So for my first batch of steel, and let me update the priority. Make steel. I'm going to do 50 coal and 150 iron to make my first batch of steel. And I would like to get more than 50 coal here because I'm almost out of gas for the power generator. So getting some excess coal allows me to then burn it in my solid fuel so that I don't, you know, lights out and then have all my tools go unpowered and die. Die, die, die. That's what I'm trying to avoid, right? So we've got 42. Almost to the 50 mark. And I want like 60, let's say. A little extra for the power generation. It's like I'm in West Virginia now, mining up coal. All right, 70 is fine, or 69. Nice. Okie dokie. Volatiles is this pink stuff, red stuff out there. So I don't get lost, I am moving at roughly 190. I would need to travel it at roughly 10 to get home. Because I don't know, you know, like, it's really easy to assume that you can find your way back, and then the day-night cycle is like, guess what? Lights out! You can't find your way home! And that, yeah, then you're dead. If you get lost, you almost certainly die in this game, because you will cease to be able to, you know, breathe and drink and eat when in vacuum. Alright, that's already enough volatiles, I don't need too many. That's already enough oxide, don't need too many. I'm a little worried about mining iron so far from home because I'm not close enough to find my way back easily without like a beacon and a tracker. I do have the X, Y, Z cords if I really need, which was like 600, negative 175, negative 500 or something. I forget. Well, okay. I have the cords, but I did not remember them. Oh, Turtle Sandwich did. Brilliant. You, sir, are a scientist. One to be admired. That's enough. I don't know what the coordinates are. I just know it's over there. Good enough. So, we've got our coal, our iron, our oxide, and our volatiles. And that's what we're going to need to make our first batch of steel. And steel is almost certainly the first alloy you're going to want to make on New Worlds, because a lot of the really important stuff, like batteries and power generators. They're all like steel related. Laura, thank you for the cheer, and Dead Squall for the resub. 4 years and many to come. Rock on. My character, with that said, is getting a little hungry. Oh, also it's worth mentioning. I am in vacuum, but under direct sunlight, ices would melt. If I'm holding them, they would melt. So at nighttime, my ices won't melt. And if they're in my mining belt, they won't melt. So your mining belt is like melt proof. Which is just worth noting. Because you don't want to be like mining up ices and then just have them like get deleted. Alright. I would like to get a little bit of hydration and food. Oh, and we have no power. So I'm going to use the last of my power to eat a cereal bar. Yep, that's right. The end of the world and I'm eating cereal bars. Done. Cereal. My hydration and food. Done. Kellyanne and Joker, thank you for the gifted subs as well. Alright. Now that that's finished, let's reserve what tiny amounts of fuel we have left and do the furnace setup. So, kit furnace, I will build right here. I'm going to move my locker over a little bit once we're done. And the first step was to wrench 2 frames. The next step is to weld 2 frames. And this is not all the furnace I'm going to need. I'm going to need more than this. Oops. Because there's some plumbing to add to the furnace as well, so that you can control the gases within the furnace. So the furnace has a liquid output, a gas input, and a gas output. And I'm really only concerned about the gas output. So let's... Whoa! I can jump. Let's worry about the gas output. So in order to deal with the gas output, I want pipes. And for that, I need iron. I don't have a lot of iron at the moment. So the current priority right now is make steel and build a furnace. And don't worry, my base will get more convenient to use soon. Oh, nighttime. I don't know how many pipes I'm going to need exactly. Can always print up more. How's my... Oh, my power's looking bad. Well, that's why I got the extra coal. Cheers. Alright, I'm also going to want a passive vent, which allows gas to freely leak out into the atmosphere. And I'll explain all of this why soon. Just give me a minute. And then I'm going to valve. A pipe valve. And that requires 2 copper. No problem, I've got it. So when you fill things in the furnace, you initially fill the furnace with combustibles in order to generate heat and pressure. And then you put your ingots, your ores in. And it mixes the ores together. You can also do single ingots, so you can use your furnace to make gold, copper, iron, you know. But and it's actually power efficient because it doesn't require power; it just requires gases. So it will very quickly phase out the arc furnace. So for this this outflow pipe, I want it to immediately link to a valve that faces me. Red means it's closed, green means it's open. And then, so that I don't get face blasted with gas, I'm gonna have... Oh, I did this wrong. Or, not wrong, but not the way I wanted. Let's have then this go backwards. I want to exhaust the gases, like, away from me, so that the things on the platform don't get blown away. So I'm gonna need, 1 more pipe. Or 2 more pipes. Let's do 2. because each pipe requires half a gram of something, so sometimes it's easier to make round up to a full gram. It's 0.5 per. There we go. All right, my suit battery is 70%. I've got oxygen. My waste tank's getting a little full, but I could always print up like an empty canister for it. It's not a big deal. All right, there we go. Passive vent goes outwards, so I won't get blasted by the output gas. Perfect. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon, one time only. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. I asked for no backseating for the series, and also, because this streamed one time only, feedback wouldn't be able to be incorporated anyway. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com also has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that made it all the way to the credits. So thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.